Hey writer friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be sharing with you my August goals, plus turning my middle grade back into a YA. If you're new here, my name is Holly. I'm a writer aspiring to be a published author. If you haven't already, please give this video a big thumbs up and click subscribe to support my channel and ring that bell so you don't miss any videos. Okay, so I had wanted to film this video and come out with it last week because I wanted to do a kind of Camp Nano wrap up and go into what I was planning to do for August, my August goals, but I'm glad that life was kind of crazy and work was busy and I spent some time with family over the weekend and just didn't get to film that video. But it was actually kind of a blessing in disguise because I have some new developments based on some feedback that I got from my kind of unofficial mentor. So we will be discussing all of those things today. So just as a quick recap for Camp NaNoWriMo, I clearly did not win. My goal was to finish developmental edits for A Bargo's Riddle, and I got so close. I had about a page and a half left of developmental edits, of feedback from my beta reader / critique partners, but they were pretty daunting tasks as far as making sure I was showing and not telling, changing dialogue, kind of bigger things. And then also there was this major plot point that I kind of reworked and made it better. So I figured out how to change that, but I didn't fix it in the manuscript yet. So my goal for August was, and I guess still is, to finish that feedback and to implement those changes from my critique partners. So I was hoping, if you guys didn't watch my last goals video, I will link that down below, but that one also talked about how I had a whole timeline for the rest of the year and how I wanted to get developmental edits done in July, my line edits done in August, so that in September I could start querying A Bargo's Riddle. Now all this time I've been working on my query and my synopsis and developing an agent list that would be right for A Bargo's Riddle as a middle grade. But this was hard, you guys, because I was just snap, snap, snap. I have this deadline that I made for myself. I want to hit it because I want to give myself 2 months to outline my NaNoWriMo novel so that I could just set myself up for success and hopefully win NaNoWriMo this year. But things don't always go as planned. And here's where I'm glad that I had waited. So if you guys don't remember, I got feedback from JL, who is a mentor for Pitch Wars and also Author Mentor Match. I had submitted A Bargo's Riddle as a YA to Author Mentor Match. Now JL was the mentor for middle grade. This year she has done YA for Pitch Wars, but for Author Mentor Match this year she was middle grade. And she saw my manuscript come in and the comp titles and she was really intrigued by it. So she actually gave me feedback on A Bargo's Riddle, which was awesome. But she said I could either go one of two ways. If I went in this direction and kept it YA, that I would need to make these changes. And if I made these changes for middle grade, if I just decided to go that route, then she had advice for that. And she was leaning a little bit more towards middle grade. I was leaning a little bit more towards middle grade. So I decided to change A Bargo's Riddle from YA to middle grade. So all of the recent edits that I've done has been for A Bargo's Riddle as a middle grade. And then also all of the feedback that I've got from my critique partners have been for A Bargo's Riddle as a middle grade. And now I keep saying middle grade because I gave JL the first 50 pages of the manuscript so that she could give me feedback because she said she was willing to do that, which is just so awesome. I cannot tell you guys how grateful I am for her for taking the time to help me with this manuscript when I was so confused on, whether I should have it be a middle grade, because it was something that was on my mind for over a year now, and she just helped give me a clear direction. But so I finally received feedback from her on the first 50 pages because I was I'm kind of wrapping up on developmental edits. I want to make sure that before I go into line edits or anything that I implement any feedback from you. So she responded and she gave me some really great feedback, but she was recommending that I turn A Bargo's Riddle back into a YA. And now you guys, I read this email at midnight last night and I was like, oh, I hope I can sleep tonight. I just was like, I was expecting like big changes and for her to probably rip the manuscript apart, but that was something that I was not expecting. So it was pretty much like a mic drop at midnight. And I'm sure that it is surprising for you too. But let me kind of explain the reason why and also the reason why I agree with her. So even some betas had kind of commented on it, and I was kind of thinking this myself because there is one of the middle grade characters who kills monsters, and it's pretty like gruesome, I guess. I really liked to be descriptive with these deaths, and so JL was like, yeah, so there was, you know, kind of quite some gore in there, you know, a little too much gore for like a middle grade, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I see that. I agree with that. I've gotten that feedback. But then also the biggest thing was that she said that this major theme in Abargo's Riddle is freedom, and that is heavily a YA theme. So, you know, that's what separates middle grade from YA, is not just the ages, but also like what they're going through, what the theme is. So middle grades focus a lot on family, whereas, you know, YA, family's not in the picture a lot of times, so there's more friendship and romance and things like that. Family is a big theme in Abargo's Riddle, but freedom is also a big theme, and that pertains to both POV characters that I have. So I was like, okay, that is obviously much harder to change the theme of the story to fit a middle grade. So that's why I was like, I kind of agree. I really think this needs to be a YA again. I had talking animals in Abargo's Riddle in the original draft that was YA, which is not really fit for the market. It doesn't really fit with the market. And even for some middle grades, a lot of the talking animals sometimes doesn't work out. So, you know, that kind of cut out a lot of the middle grade feel to it. So I feel pretty confident that like I'm gonna be able to seamlessly make this transition this back to a YA. And now the biggest question that I had that I sent to JL that I'm pretty sure I know the response to, but back when she gave me her advice after author mentor match announcements were made, she had said that if I was going to keep it as YA, that I would likely have to have a romance in it. And now Abargo's Riddle has never had a romance because I always saw it as an upper middle grade, lower YA, and that just wasn't the focus because it was on family and freedom. And so like there was no room for the romance. Like the riddles play a major part in the story, and it's like, there ain't no time. Jade is on a journey and she's got things to do. But I know romance is a heavy theme in YA. Now I told her that I always kind of saw Abargo's Riddle as like This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab, where that didn't have romance. Now granted, I think the sequel, This Dark Duet, does have romance in it from what I remember. But that was one of the big selling points of This Savage Song that I saw across BookTube, was that, oh my God, look, a YA fantasy that does not have romance. This is so cool. This is fresh. This is different. So that's how I kind of always saw Abargo's Riddle. You know, if she does recommend that I have romance, like I really trust her feedback. She is an awesome person and a great author and writer. And she's like such a mentor to all these other writers out there, an advocate for just Black Lives Matter, and just, she's an awesome person. So I just really value and trust her feedback on this. So that's why I'm going along with these changes, because I also agree with them, but I also trust her. But now this romance, so if she says that she recommends that, I'm like, I will do whatever you say. But I feel like it will be a very kind of sweet romance. Like that subplot will be very minimal. It will be a very, very subplot because that's not the major thing. And like I said, like there's no time in this adventure to really have a lot of romance. It would kind of muddle it and not fit and be like, why are they focusing on romance? That's not important to their goals, and that's not a part of their motivation. So I feel like I would be okay implementing it because it would be like very sweet and very just like innocent romance, and very like, I wouldn't be beating you over the head with it, okay? And so I did ask my critique partners who have read Abargo's Riddle, I did ask them, okay, what do you think about this? About making this YA again? So I'm gonna wait to hear back from them. And so if there's any sort of new updates or something, I might come out with another kind of writer life update video sometime in August. But for now, this is the plan, to make it YA again. And so that kind of changes things though, because that is going to shift my timeline, because there is no way that I can finish these developmental edits and line edits by the end of the month. It's just, I would be rushing and not putting out my best work, and I don't want that at all. And plus I think I'm gonna want another round of feedback on this new draft. Before I was gonna be like, okay, I've gotten this feedback, I'm gonna go into line edits and then I'm gonna query. But I think now that I'm reworking it, I'm gonna want another round of feedback. And so that's gonna take even longer. So I honestly don't think that I'm going to be ready to query this fall, because I don't wanna rush it. Now, I might have been able to have it ready to query if I wasn't going to be doing NaNoWriMo. But from the shiny new idea that came into my head last month, I cannot not do NaNoWriMo. So it's tough, because before this shiny new idea, I was like, I don't know what I want to do for NaNoWriMo. But with this idea, I am just super excited about it. I am really ready to just start outlining and drafting again, and just figuring out a whole new world and characters. And as much as I love A Bargo's Riddle, I am excited to start something new as well. And I feel like I need to do it during NaNoWriMo, when there's all that camaraderie and support and like goals where you're busting your butt to like get this done. So I think what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna do as much edits as I can. Ideally, I would finish these developmental edits, then I can get feedback from betas and kind of put that on hold then before I implement the feedback and go through line edits, kind of leave those two pieces for after NaNoWriMo, which means I probably wouldn't start querying A Bargo's Riddle until January, because December is like a do not query month, because like agents are on like holiday, they're on vacation. It's kind of like where things slow down in the queryverse. So, and in January, that's when people usually pick up. So that's probably when I would ideally start querying. So yeah, so that is the plan. A Bargo's Riddle was a YA upper middle grade, then I changed it to middle grade, and now it's probably gonna be YA again. Yeah, I'm excited. I know going through edits is never easy. Developmental edits are the hardest for me, so I need to give myself grace and realize that it's gonna take me a lot longer. Line edits won't be as bad, but developmental edits are difficult for me, so I need to give myself the proper time to get those done. So that's it for today's video. Let me know in the comments down below, has this ever happened to you? Have you ever switched your manuscript from middle grade to YA or new adult to adult? Like, what have you done in that situation? Or have you seen that happen to other people? Let's all share our advice in the comments down below. Also, let me know what you think. Are you excited that this is going to be a YA? I know a lot of people were excited that this was a middle grade, and I do still want to write middle grade, but if it's not meant to be A Bargo's Riddle, then I'm okay with it, because I have many ideas to come. All right, you guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.